Alright, well, here I am in my tiny baby kitchen that I got here. It's more like a kitchenette slash studio slash music studio slash living room. But I have had a request for some of my vegan recipes from my good friend, you know who you are, and we're gonna go ahead and show what that's all about. So stay tuned and we'll get started here. Anyways, long story short, this is going to be a super long video. Now this is more like a complete meal than a recipe. And we're going to bust out the ingredients right now. What I'm going to be making is called Punjabi Chole, to be specific. It's kind of a variation on chana masala or something like that. So chole or chana meaning the chickpea, which I've already have cooked chickpeas in a bowl right there. Got some coconut oil. We're going to be using some spices here in a minute. Now the second thing I'm going to be making here is called sag. This is a vegan variation of sag paneer, which means like a Indian style cheese with cooked greens. So this sag is going to be made with mustard greens and collard greens, which that's my jam. That's how I do's it. And then we're going to use some tomato. I like to use these heirloom tomatoes. I got some galangal, which is Thai ginger there, and a serrano chile. That's going to be good. What else do I got here? Some fresh garlic, white onion, and shallot. So this is what I'm going to be using for this recipe. And then I also have this vegan cheese. It's a Daya dairy-free Monterey Jack style farmhouse block. That is what I'm going to be using to replace the paneer in my sag. I also got these tofurkey slow roasted chicken, lightly seasoned. Normally, you know, some people don't like the Vital wheat gluten in their food, in which case you can replace this with some nice jackfruit, you know, little Indo style. So that's what we're going to be using to make the food. Oh yeah, and also this cilantro. You know, some people might call it coriander leaf, but I'm from Southern California, so I call it cilantro. Alright, well next you're going to need some spices. Now this is what I use for this entire recipe, including the rice, the sag, and the chole. So basically I got a little chicken bouillon there, which is vegan chicken bouillon, and some saffron, and some turmeric, and that's going to be for the rice. Next I got some allspice, some cumin seed, bay leaf, coriander seed, clove, mustard seed, black and yellow mustard seed. This is some tandoori seasoning. It's not completely necessary. I just use it to add a bit of flavor, and some fenugreek. Also, again, it's all about preference at this point. A bit of cinnamon bark, cassia bark, whatever you want to call it. We got some cardamom pods. I like to use the green and the black cardamom, so I got two different kinds of pods there. This is a peppercorn mix, but I only use black peppercorns for my recipe here, which is, you know, basically a garam masala type of base. But and then this is Kashmiri chili, and that is to add a bit of heat as well. So if you don't have all that stuff, basically you're gonna want something like cumin, coriander, clove, cinnamon, and curry. Black peppercorn and bay leaf is, you know, pretty standard as well, but so this is my variation. Now I'm cooking some brown basmati rice in a rice cooker here, and what I like to do is take my saffron and put it in some nice warm water, a little bit of turmeric there, and make a separate little warm water thing. That way it kind of extracts all of the stuff without leaving little bits of the saffron flour there, and strain it into the rice water. Looks like that rice is going to have some nice color. I also add some of this vegan chicken bouillon. I don't know if it was actually supposed to be vegan, but it's called imitation chicken flavored bouillon powder. And it's at the cheapy store that I got it. But you can use, you know, veggie broth or whatever you like for that. But I just use imitation chicken flavor bouillon because it happens to be vegan. And I am vegan. Then I get myself a frying pan, and I'm going to crank that bad boy to a nice high heat. And in that pan, I'm going to add some of my ingredients. You just want a couple cloves in there, not too many. For each serving size, throw a couple cloves in there. Little cap full of half a cap full of coriander seed up in there. Cumin seed. I don't know, my caps are pretty big, so that's probably like 1 teaspoon of coriander. 1 tablespoon of cumin seed. Cumin, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to throw this, just, you know, a little bit of cinnamon bark. Not too much. I use about maybe, you know, snap off a little section of cinnamon bark. And I'll throw a couple of these coriander pods in there. Like I said, I like to use the black and the green, so I'm going to go ahead and throw one of each in there. Bay leaf. Where's my bay leaf is at? So I'm going to throw a couple bay leaves in there. I'm going to throw a little bit of fenugreek in there as well. Just, you know, not too much, maybe like a sprinkle. Keep in mind, this is all on super high. And I'm going to let those toast up. Just a little bit here until I start smelling this toasty fragrance, which I'm beginning to smell now. Not burnt. Before they start burning, right when they start kind of drying out and toasting up. Okay, so these are nice and toasty, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump them off here into my mortar and pestle. And I'm just going to let those cool down. And while they're cooling down, I'm going to add a couple little more ingredients, like this allspice. I'm probably going to put a couple little things of allspice in there. These nice round black ones here. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this mustard seed. That's going to be good. We'll put I like mustard seed in mine, so I'm going to put like maybe a teaspoon of that in there. And then I'm going to add several black peppercorns. So we're going to put black peppercorns in there. Then, after this is cooled down quite a bit to at least, room temperature, I'm going to go ahead and mash it on up. Oh yeah, and while this rice is boiling here, before the water gets low, and without trying to boil off too much of the steam, I like to put some salt right there in the boiling water. I find that it works better to not affect the firmness of the rice when you put salt in while it's boiling, as opposed to afterwards or before. So that's just my thing. Now, I got the spices pretty much grinded up there, and I'm going to work on chopping the shallot, garlic, galangal, which is Thai ginger. If you don't have Thai ginger or whatever, you can use regular ginger. I'm actually going to use both ginger and galangal, so that's what I'm going to chop up next. So first off here, I got some finely chopped shallot, some chopped garlic, and some chopped galangal and ginger. We're going to put all the garlic in there and the ginger, and we're going to make a paste out of it. This is enough paste for both the sag and the chole. Alright, I got this ginger, galangal, garlic paste all smushed up. I'm going to add a little salt to that. In the meantime, boom, I have this mock chicken, which I'm going to marinate for a bit. And this is just a matter of personal preference. But for me, I got like a million different spices, and what I'm going to end up using is some of this. I got that curry there. I got organic salt-free curry. These are all store-bought stuff. Oh, there we go. I'm going to use this hot madras curry powder. Make it a little spicy. And I'm just going to sprinkle that on the chicken there. Avocado oil. And I use it because it's a high heat oil and it doesn't become carcinogenic when you heat it up, and I'm really going to fry the stuff out of that chicken there. So I'm also going to add a bit of my liquid aminos here to that. Pinch of salt. That's going to be pretty good. So I'm just going to marinate that in the juice. And of course, like I said, if you don't do the gluten, you can use jackfruit. And then we have to prepare our onion and tomato next. Alrighty, so what I have here is some finely chopped onion. That's like one onion, and 3 large tomatoes. These ones just can be kind of chunked up. They don't have to be like finely chopped. Now, my powdered spice mix that from before. What I like to do is throw it in here on the side, about maybe half of it, and let it dry fry on the edge there. I got it on medium-high heat, and I'll probably sprinkle a little bit right in this coconut oil right here, and wait till it starts popping. Once I hear that popping, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing it up. The shallot, that's going to be for the saag, and some of the onion as well is going to be for the saag. I'm actually just going to, give her a little bit of onion on that side. And so I can see that bubbling in here, that's sizzling. So I'm going to go ahead and mix the oil with the dry ingredients that I put in there. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get this shallot and onion, and I'm going to get it into a pot. Some of this ginger garlic paste, and normally what you'd saute it with was ghee, but I have this Earth Balance, which is like vegan butter, and I'm just gonna go ahead and saute it in a ton of Earth Balance. I don't know if it's any better for you, but it's vegan. Now, you can see here, these spices are starting to fry up in the oil, and so it's time to add in our onions and tomato. Now we're just going to cook that down for about 10-15 minutes. And one of the ways that it's going to cook down even better is to put salt right onto the onions and tomato. Good amount of salt, I say 3 pinches will do. And yeah, we're just going to mix that in there and let that cook down. Sauteing the shallots and onion in this butter, and we're going to close that up, let it saute, and then I'm going to chop up these greens. Now this is delicioso. Nice mustard greens. You can make this with spinach if you want to, or really any greens. Saag is pretty much about greens, but generally mustard greens. I use mustard and collard greens in my recipe because that's just how I do it. Oops, almost forgot. You got to add some nice green chili to the saute here. That serrano chili, finely chopped, and it looks like this bad boy is ready to go. It's all caramelized up. We got the onion, shallot, green chili, garlic paste, ginger paste, all nice and kind of caramelized up inside there. What I'm also going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and add at this point some coriander powder. I'd say like a teaspoon tops, half a teaspoon, and a nice teaspoon of cumin powder. And that is going to be delicious. Oh, we got to make sure this chili gets down in there too. Nice green chili. Now what I've done here, I chopped all the stems out of the collard greens because they don't go well in the sog. And I've chopped up the mustard green and the collard green. And we are going to go ahead and put that right in here. And that seems like a big amount. A full head of mustard green, a full head of collard green. But really it's going to cook down very, very shallow. So what we're going to do in this point is we're going to add just enough water to these greens to cover them up to where the greens are even with the top of the water there. And we're just going to go ahead and boil the you-know-what out of it. Okay, so back to this mix of fried spices, onion, tomato, and salt. Now you can see it's cooking down really well, and we're getting to the point where it's almost like a sauce, a nice sauce. And it's here that I want to go ahead and kind of squish it up and make it real squishy. It's okay if it's a little bit watery at this point. We're not going to add any water, but basically it's like a tomato sauce. Now, here is where we put in the garlic and the rest of this garlic and ginger paste that we've made before, which I added galangal to. And we're going to stir that in real nice and even so that it gets all up in there and mix all the flavors and doesn't have any heavy spots of garlic ginger flavor. That's going to be real good. Nice and mixed. Then we're going to add the rest of our spice mix that we didn't add before. And at this time, I'm also going to add my own, oops, wrong one. Now I have to find it. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to add my curry that I'm going to put in here. You can put whatever curry you want, but this is a tandoori style spice. Tandoori, like the Indian brick oven cooking spice. Anyways, that's a tandoori curry that I'm going to put in there just because I like the flavor of it. You can put whatever curry you want. And then another thing I'm going to put into here is this Kashmiri chili. Now, this is its own wicked animal, so you kind of want to be a little bit careful if you're going to use Kashmiri chili. So I'm literally going to put a fork in there. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm just going to mix that fork's worth of Kashmiri chili in there. You can use you know, red chili powder, Thai chili, red Thai chili, you know, whatever chili, whatever red chili you want. I use the Kashmiri, And another reason why I use such a small amount is because I'm also going to add some of this other green chili into there at this time. I didn't add it in earlier with the paste. I should have, but right now I'm just going to make a paste out of it. Crush it all up in here and add it to. Now, at this point, it's starting to thicken up a little bit. What I like to do is I saved some of the water here from the cooking the chickpeas, and that water has like a lot of protein in it, and it kind of helps this to become kind of like a gravy because the water from cooking the chickpeas earlier. These are cold now, so I throw some of that water in there and cook it down a little bit more. Then I'm going to add some fresh coriander leaf or cilantro to the mix right now, and I'm going to stir that up. And now is where I add the chickpeas. Boom. Garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them. Put those in there. Now these are kind of soft from cooking, but I did leave them a little bit al dente, so to speak. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to squish up some of them. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because when you squish it up and then you mix them in the squishy stuff with your sauce, it kind of gravies it up. You really want this to be like a nice gravy. So if you've done it just right so far, and you added your bean juice to it and cook that down a little bit, and now you're adding some, some chickpea squishies, should be good to go. We're going to let that cook the flavor into those beans, and that will be a wrap on that one. Okay, now this sag, what I've been doing was cooking it down in water, basically, boiling it down to where I can get it to be really squishy. Some people blend it up in the blender, just like the chole over there. They blend it up, they blend the tomatoes. I like to cook stuff down slowly. I find it gets a better flavor in there. So it's not cooked down all the way yet, but what I do is I continuously go ahead and smush it down more and more until it's like really soft. Okay, so when this sag is done, it will pretty much be not very chunky at all. It'll be kind of like a creamed spinach type of look, and it's almost to that point right now. What I'm going to do is reduce the heat a little bit, let it simmer down a little bit longer, and I'm going to get ready some vegan cheese to use as a paneer for the sag. Meanwhile, I'm just frying up this chicken I marinated. Like I said, you use jackfruit, use whatever you like. I'm using muck chicken. Alright, creamed spinach consistency. And we're just going to kind of mix it up in there loosely and let the sag melt the cheese. And that's going to be that. We have our nice fried chicken here. We got this Punjabi Chole. Some beautiful sag paneer. And basmati rice. I'm just going to go ahead and make me a plate here. And, you know, this is my apartment. That's me right there. Hey guys. Wait, yeah, there we go. How's it going? Jason Chase here. Got my little apartment. There's my balafone. Got some djembes, flutes over here. Little art studio. That's cool. I got my paintings back there, my painting stuff. And over here is my desk where I do design work, architecture stuff. There's my other instruments, photography. That's my bedroom over there. And this is my little mini kitchen. And my futon and my entertainment center. So, this is where I'm going to eat. I'm going to go here and grab me a plate and plate this stuff up. And that's that. And there you have it. We got some sag paneer, vegan style, Punjabi Chole, chana masala. We got some basmati rice, nice chicken, and that is my recipe for you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Miss you guys. That's especially for you guys. You know who you are. Love ya. And maybe we'll actually hang out one of these days, huh?